If you could change or identify one problem or one thing about the team, what would it be and why?
If there's one thing I can change, it's how the players view our experiences so far. Like, I just want them to reset.
I would have kept playing through bot lane. I would have literally not changed a thing.
I would like to have everyone focus on more on their individual play.
If I could change one thing on this team, it would be through this split, this roster's developed an environment where mistakes are, it's not really a mistake-friendly environment. And so instead of people being willing to make mistakes and learn from scrims, a lot of us have been holding back in scrims because if we make a mistake, there's just a lot of blame shedding.
I would change. You also need to focus on the positive things, you know, and you need some light in your brain sometimes, you know. So yeah, I would change that.
Me.
Why?
Because this split I wasn't like my former self, and if I was, the team would have way better results.
I don't think Misfits ever would have like risen up this season with a single change, but I do think that they could have secured playoffs if they just kept sticking to what worked in the early weeks rather than trying to mix it up.
Like, if I could change one thing, I would just hit a reset button, because I think these group of players can work, but I think we got caught up in a lot of just a negative cycle of things, like, right? We had a really strong start to the split. The team showed that they could work really well together, and then just a lot of stuff happened, and that's what we're trying to unravel right now, right? Is, you know, what happened.
Who's the primary shot caller of the team? Who would you say the primary shot caller of the team is?
Oh, wow. I honestly have no idea.
I think that's one of the things that could be an issue with the team, is there's not necessarily a primary shot caller.
In mid and late game, our primary shot callers are usually Soaz and Gorilla, and then Febvin if he's on a side lane.
I think the primary shot caller in early game is Maxlar. I think leading into mid-late game, it can change depending on who takes the lead.
Before, from my understanding, it was Nubar. With how the game used to be, he could take control of the games and work through the jungle as basically carrying the game as a jungler. But in the current meta and the current season, junglers have to work through lanes to win the game. From an individual standpoint, everybody's just looking to each other to step up, and no one's doing it right now.
On stream, some people we talked to commented that the players you guys looked defeated going into the games this weekend. Do you agree with that, and why do you think that was?
I think people were more pissed off than they were depressed. So I don't think it was them looking depressed. I don't think it was a bad mindset. I think they were just really pissed off with the way things were going.
I think everyone is just a little bit stressed out, and we have a hard time picking ourselves up after losses.
In your opinion, why do you think a super team of veterans was prone to such downfall?
In a lot of ways, it's because they're getting in their own heads. They're thinking too much about why things aren't working and not so much how do we make things work.
The drawbacks of a super team like this are the difficulty in getting 2 or 3 or 4 experienced players to sacrifice what they know for the bigger cause.
I think you've got a lot of players here with the potential to have their own unique ideas with like years of experience to justify those ideas, and that can lead to a lot of conflict.
What do you think the biggest issues are on the team?
What was the biggest issue? Because I'm not sure what is the biggest, like.
Wow, for me, I mean, Misfits seems, it's hard to say 100% what Misfits issues are. I think it could be a wide variety of things, but honestly, it just does not look like there is any team cohesion on the stage.
Well, hey, can we just go Nash if they're going to go free ball like this?
Yes, you could start. You can run it.
Come top. They're going to contest.
Can we do it? No, just do it.
Okay, I'm starting.
Ward.
Sentry, use your W. Callista, use your W.
I don't have W. Oh my god. Bad TP. Bad TP under turret.
I don't have Ward. Do you use bubble?
They're really far.
Can we burst it? They're really far.
1k5 burst.
Yeah.
Oh. Siebert.
We have to one-shot him.
Big cannon.
No?
think individually, there's been a lot of problems within the team where we haven't had individuals take responsibility.
Everyone just maybe indirectly blaming each other. Also not trying to like show it too much, just keeping inside and just indirectly blaming the other.
And it also just felt like for half the split that they weren't even aware of what they needed to do to win games with the players they had. They were trying to like play for a team that wasn't their own. It was bizarre. It was a bizarre split from Misfits, I think is the easiest way to say it.
Why do you think fans should stay Misfits fans and have hope for summer split?
Fans should still care about Misfits because regardless of how bad things have gone, I think we've been quite aggressive in making changes to our practice or just to how we approach this roster through the split. And it took too long, but we've come very close to figuring out what needs to change or what needs to work for this Misfits to win.
It's just a matter of time before we start winning again, you know, like I feel like the split was not horrible. We've showed good things in the start, even in the middle. We had a few good games. We just have to bounce back, so.
They have the names. In theory, they have the talent. I have a lot of faith in the Misfits. I have a lot of faith in Hussein Mousvi.
This roster was formed to win a championship, and everything Misfits has ever approached is to try to win a championship. And if fans want to follow Misfits or want to support Misfits, it's because they align with us in the pursuit of that championship.